330 million years ago, Earth was a realm of untamed monsters. High oxygen levels created an atmosphere where arachnids grew to monstrous sizes. Emerging from the shadows steps the undisputed king of the prehistoric forest floor. Meet Pulmonoscorpius, a giant scorpion stretching over 3 feet in length. Its glossy black armor reflects the dim light filtering through the dense canopy. Unlike modern scorpions, this leviathan was built to hunt actively on land. Its heavy pincers crush bone and shell with immense hydrostatic pressure. Above its back sways a formidable weapon, a deadly, venom-filled sting tail. Specialized organs beneath its body sense vibrations of approaching prey. Tonight, the apex predator embarks on a hunt through the primeval swamp. Darkness falls over the Carboniferous marsh, turning the forest into a lethal trap. Navigating the pitch-black terrain, Pulmonoscorpius relies on compound eyes and sensory hairs. A giant cockroach ancestor rustles nearby through wet, decomposing leaf litter. Freeze-framed in the gloom, the predator senses the faint tremors on the ground. With lightning speed, its massive pincer snaps forward to seal the target's fate. Trapped within iron-like jaws, the insect struggles helplessly against overwhelming crushing force. The curved tail arches forward, delivering a quick, paralyzing dose of neurotoxic venom. Within seconds, the powerful neurotoxin shuts down the victim's nervous system entirely. Digesting its meal externally, it uses sharp chelicerae to process the soft tissue. Satiated for now, the giant arachnid continues its relentless march through the jungle. Dawn breaks over the swamp, revealing an ecosystem built on gigantism. High atmospheric pressure and oxygen levels allow primitive lungs to supply massive bodies. Pulmonoscorpius breathes through specialized book lungs lining the underside of its abdomen. This evolutionary marvel enables it to maintain high activity without tiring easily. Yet, the forest floor is far from safe, filled with rival terrestrial predators. A massive millipede, arthropod, glides through the ferns, rivaling the scorpion in size. Pulmonoscorpius detects the heavy vibrations and instinctively raises its pincers in defense. Covered in impenetrable armor plates, the giant millipede ignores the threat completely. Realizing a fight would be futile, the scorpion lowers its stance and backs away. To survive here, choosing the right battles is as crucial as hunting prowess. Midday heat swells the humidity, forcing cold-blooded creatures to seek cool shelter. Pulmonoscorpius retreats toward a hollowed, decaying lycopsid tree trunk near the water. The damp interior offers protection from both scorching heat and soaring aerial predators. Above the canopy, giant griffin flies with 3-foot wingspans patrol the open skies. From its shadowed lair, the scorpion keeps a watchful eye on any movement. A sudden shower begins, fat rain droplets splashing violently against ancient fronds. Water levels rise rapidly, flooding low-lying burrows and forcing ground dwellers out. Water-repellent chitin keeps Pulmonoscorpius completely dry despite the pouring rain. Rain turns the soil into slick mud, creating a treacherous landscape for hunters. As the deluge subsides, the washed forest unleashes a new wave of opportunities. Fresh moisture activates dormant prey, filling the air with movement and scent. Pulmonoscorpius steps back out into the open, its pectines sweeping the mud. Chemical cues in the soil guide the giant arachnid toward potential prey. Nearby, a primitive amphibian, Eogeranus, slithers onto the muddy bank. 2 ancient titans of the Carboniferous are now on a direct collision course. The scorpion stops, locking onto the heavy vibrations of the creature ahead. Unaware of the lurking death, the amphibian edges closer to the root tangle. Every muscle in the predator's body coiled, ready to deliver an explosive strike. The stage is set for a brutal showdown in the ancient heart of the jungle. Part 1 ends on the edge of violence, as the hunt reaches its climax. Welcome to Part 2. The ambush explodes into a violent, life-or-death battle. The massive pincer clamps hard onto the amphibian's slick, slippery back. Thrashing wildly, the primitive vertebrate fights to break free from the crushing grip. Arching high above, the stingtail strikes, plunging deep into exposed flesh. Concentrated venom floods the prey's bloodstream, rapidly halting its desperate struggle. Standing victorious, the arachnid titan drags its heavy prize into the shadows. In this hyper-oxygenated world, large kills sustain high metabolic demands. But the scent of fresh blood attracts other dangerous scavengers in the swamp. A massive predatory fish, megalichthys, ripples the shallow waters nearby. Sensing the aquatic threat, Pulmonoscorpius guards its hard-earned meal fiercely. Standing firmly at the water's edge, the scorpion flashes a terrifying display of force. Unwilling to risk a puncture from the venomous sting, the giant fish retreats. Defense successful, the apex arachnid returns to securing its high-protein meal. Using specialized mouthparts, it liquefies prey tissue before consumption. Hours pass as the titan feeds undisturbed under the dense canopy shadow. Fully fed, the giant now faces another instinctual drive, finding a mate. Pheromones drifting through humid air signal the presence of a nearby female. Following the invisible chemical trail, the male marches through dense club mosses. Emerging onto a clear patch of damp clay, he meets a larger female. Mating in giant scorpions is a high-stakes, potentially cannibalistic dance. Clasping pincers, the pair begins a tense courtship ritual known as the promenade. The male leads her carefully, searching for a smooth stone to deposit his spermatophore. One wrong move, and the female's predatory instincts will turn him into dinner. He deposits the capsule onto the surface, maneuvering her directly over it. Fertilization complete, the male must make a swift, desperate retreat. Escaping into the undergrowth, he survives to hunt another day. Months later, the female carries a new generation resting safely on her back. Soft and vulnerable, the offspring rely entirely on their mother's lethal armor. She fiercely wards off any threat, ensuring the survival of her bloodline. Under her protective gaze, these tiny killers prepare for their own eventual reign. After their first molt, the young harden their exoskeletons and scatter into the wild. Independence means immediate danger, as cannibalism is common among growing juveniles. Only a fraction of these miniature monsters will survive to reach full adult size. Meanwhile, adult Pulmonoscorpius face new seasonal challenges in the changing swamp. High oxygen levels demand vast territory to hunt and fuel their massive bodies. A territorial dispute erupts when two massive adults cross paths on a fallen tree. Clashing armor echoes through the forest as they lock pincers in a test of power. Venomous tails whip violently overhead, seeking a gap in the opponent's chitin plates. The larger rival gains leverage, shoving the intruder off the log into the mud below. Defeated but intact, the loser retreats, leaving the dominant hunter to claim the territory. Securing dominance over the territory ensures prime access to rich hunting grounds. As afternoon wanes, giant primitive dragonflies swoop low across the swamp waters. Perched silently on a high fern frond, Pulmonoscorpius prepares an aerial ambush. Tracking the dragonfly's erratic flight paths, its pincers tense in anticipation. The dragonfly hovers too close to the frond, a fatal miscalculation of reach. In a split second, the scorpion strikes, snatching the giant flyer midair. Both creatures crash down into the soft, mossy undergrowth with a heavy thud. Powerful pincers easily crush the insect's thorax, ending the struggle instantly. No prey on land or in the low air is safe from this master executioner. Part 2 ends as night falls, yet a massive extinction crisis looms ahead. Welcome to Part 3. The twilight of the Carboniferous era begins to draw near. Global climate shifts begin to drain the swamps, shrinking the lush primordial havens. Oxygen levels start a slow, irreversible decline across the changing planet. For a giant reliant on high oxygen, every breath becomes a struggle to survive. Pulmonoscorpius wanders through a transforming landscape, searching for remaining moisture. The giant trees that once shaded these monsters are collapsing into arid brush. Prey becomes scarce as smaller organisms collapse under the environmental stress. Weakened by the thinning air, the scorpion's energetic hunting pace drastically slows. Early reptiles, better adapted to dry land, begin to challenge the arachnid reign. The era of giant terrestrial arthropods is fast coming to an inevitable end. Driven by hunger, the weakened titan searches relentlessly for a dwindling water source. Shallow pools are now rare sanctuaries where desperate survivors gather to drink. Sensing a rare target, Pulmonoscorpius gathers its remaining strength to strike. A swift reptile easily dodges the slow attack, outmaneuvering the heavy monster. Missing its prey, the exhausted scorpion collapses onto the baking, parched earth. Smaller, more agile species prove far better suited for this arid new world. As night falls, temperatures plummet, creating harsh conditions for giant invertebrates. Pulmonoscorpius seeks refuge inside a collapsing mud cavern to escape the frost. Sudden flash floods from distant storms wash immense volumes of sediment downward. Trapped inside its subterranean shelter, fine silt rapidly buries the ancient giant. Sealed within oxygen-deprived mud, the scorpion's body begins a millions-year transformation. Over geological ages, intense pressure turns soft silt into solid, enduring rock. Minerals slowly replace organic tissues, preserving the apex predator in exquisite detail. Fast forward 330 million years into our modern world. Paleontologists carefully chisel away stone in a sunlit Scottish limestone quarry. A brush sweeps away dust, revealing the terrifying outline of a massive pincer. This astonishing discovery revolutionized our understanding of ancient arthropod gigantism. Modern science reveals that oxygen drops force scorpions to shrink to survive. Today's scorpions carry the same lethal design, compressed into tiny, efficient forms. Though shrunk in size, their ancient predatory lineage remains practically unchanged. A seamless bridge connects the ancient past with the living world of today. Specialized respiratory systems allowed Pulmonoscorpius to conquer Carboniferous lands effortlessly. Their massive chitin exoskeletons provided unmatched armor against rival terrestrial predators. Pincers capable of crushing thick shells made them the ultimate swamp nightmare. Venomous stingers ensured no prey, regardless of size, could ever escape. Yet even the most dominant apex predators remain subject to planetary shifts. The story of Pulmonoscorpius proves that adaptability outlasts raw physical power. Shrinking in size allowed their descendants to survive mass extinctions intact. In the grand tale of life, evolution always favors flexibility over size. Nature continuously redesigns its killing machines to match the changing environment. Today, fossils offer a rare window into Earth's most terrifying primordial nightmares. Each chitin fragment tells an epic tale of survival, adaptation, and sudden extinction. Standing before these ancient remains, we are reminded of our planet's wild past. The 1-meter monster that once ruled the land has long vanished from memory, yet its formidable shadow still lingers over the evolutionary history of life. Its legacy thrives in every scorpion lurking under rocks across the globe today. Earth's ancient past was a kingdom ruled not by mammals, but by chitinous giants. And among those giants, Pulmonoscorpius stood as the undisputed terrestrial apex predator, a terrifying master of the primeval swamp, frozen forever in the sands of time. Until next time, keep exploring the hidden mysteries of our planet's ancient past.